Just doing some technical stuff. So you have left food, this hero's feast, at the wee apothecary.
Yes.
You demanded that she eat, and before she could say anything else, you exited the building.
Correct.
You've gathered pittance, you've gathered a rope, anything you think you would need to be able to scale to the top. And do you just walk? Do you foot it there, or do you find yourself running?
I would try running back, because I also remember Severin started talking about the cages as well. So that's also an observation I wanted to make. Because he wasn't there, so I mean, that was the last time I heard from him, and I don't know if it was within the few hours that I was alive,
right,
or within the last day or two that he had mentioned it. So
sure. Okay. Sounds good. All right, then you do just that. You run back in your tireless stride. You beat feet across the street. Go as far as you possibly can carry yourself, as quickly as you can, without causing too much distraction. I mean, after all, you are running a lighthouse. It's bound to freak some people out. Luckily, it's still like 4 o'clock in the morning, so people don't think much about it. As you near the temple of Ouijas, you see a figure sitting on the steps. Lackadaisically, their feet seem to be stretched out. They're leaning back on their palms near the top step. Their head never turns. They never make mention or gesture to you. But it's a man. A formidably sized man, but a man nonetheless. He's not the same as Cort. Not some withered boy. This is a man in his prime. Long, dark black hair. Dark scruff on his face. You've seen this man before.
it's Scalorang's father, but this is Nab, isn't it?
It's Mal. It's Mal Scalorang. Yeah.
As I approach, I'll slow my stride, but I would probably meet him probably a step or two away. What are you doing here, Nab?
Well, I thought that all hope had been lost. I thought all of my work would be for nothing. For nothing. But then I felt something. In the dead of night, I felt something. I had to check it out myself. And to see what was all the hubbub. Lo and behold, I saw you running away from this place. And when I looked inside, well, I'm sure you can imagine what I've seen. I knew you wouldn't be gone long, so I figured if I waited long enough, you'd be back.
Ulhime gives him a nod. Was this your doing?
Me? No. No, I wouldn't do this to my son. I'm one for heinous punishment, but this goes widely undeserved. Fortunately, this is not my handiwork.
Ulhime takes a quick look around, and he kind of motions for him to walk inside.
Pushes his body up, dusts himself off. You notice that the clothes that he wears is stained in dirt, and he reeks of the grave. He steps inside, places his back to the door. What are you gonna do?
Well, seeing as my abilities aren't yet high enough to reverse the effects of this, I need to look towards an arcane user, someone of, moderate to masterful spell weaving. As he's talking to him, he's not actually looking at him. He's kind of like inspecting the area, and he's starting to set up the pikes to get ready to climb. Question is, though, why are you here? You didn't just come to gloat, did you?
Who's gloating? I'm not gloating. Gloating's not my style. I gain nothing from picking on children. It'd be like a teenager picking on a toddler. What purpose does that serve?
Then why have you come?
Can't someone long for their son? I've measured my whole life's work just to weigh in and make a difference. And just like every other repugnant child, he's gone and stoned himself.
Is he dead?
Oh, yes. Yes, they all are.
Then I can bring him back.
You
But
can't.
last time I tried, there was interference.
You can't bring him back.
And why not?
It's secondhand. It won't work. Magic stronger than yours has made them this way. You need magic stronger than that. And the only one capable of that level of magic in the town isn't going to work with you anymore. I spoke to her myself, but she said there were too many debts. You can probably guess who I venture to speak of.
Gives him a nod.
It's a shame, really. The boy lived, though. He's lived, right?
I went to go check on him, yes.
It'd be a shame if he died. And the old man would have waved his magic fingers for nothing.
As Ulhime finishes putting in the I keep forgetting the name of those things, those little
Pittance.
He starts climbing up to the floor, making sure he's secure.
As you begin your climb. Can't save him from up there.
There's something I need to check for. Also, my belongings are up here. If I'm going to help my friends, I need to be well equipped.
Oh, fine. As you begin climbing, you feel a hand wrap around the back of your neck, and there's a snap, this audible like, and you're both standing atop the balcony. Good thing you held onto the rope. You can tie it off here.
What the fuck? He ties it off and just looks at him. Thank you.
Oh, no need to thank me. You're gonna figure out how to get my son back.
Yes.
Just say that we're working together. We're seeing past our differences. It's not that far-fetched after all. A demon and the undead? Not far-fetched at all. We've been in cahoots before.
He starts continuing his walk. What is your plan anyway, since you're going to be in my company for a while?
I just want to see my son live to his shining moment.
He stops and kind of gives him really?
You know how long I've lived? Do you know how many conquests I've vanquished? Enemies I have buried beneath me. Allies I've buried beneath me. Nothing's exciting anymore. I figured, what better way to learn a little, to try something different, than to just let him take hold. Let him see exactly what he was capable of doing. I can guide only so far, but... well, that little devil bastard... huh. It's a little funny. When I say it out loud especially.
So, your goal in all of this, for everything that's happened, that you've been involved in, was just to see Jakob grow up. Just to see what he could do. To be a parent. Watching from afar.
I saw Jakob grow up. It's not his real name, by the way, but it's what he's adopted. He doesn't remember his real name, or at least he doesn't yet, or anymore. After all, he is still dead.
I want to do a sense motive because it just doesn't sound legit.
Sure, go for it.
I'll re-roll that.
Okay. Gets a 28, says he's going to re-roll it. 33 is pretty good. You feel like there's some honesty in it. He's earnest. He said he wants to see his son grow up to his pinnacle moment. Maybe there's some golden heart here after all.
In this moment, what is it? This apex of Jakob's life. What is it that it's supposed to be?
If I knew, I'd tell you. But I don't know. All I can do is try to guide. Pull some strings. Make it easy. But
they get to the second part of the stairs. He puts his hand behind, he puts his hand to wait, and then he puts his shield in front of him, and he slowly starts walking up.
We're doing this. Are we really doing this? Okay.
Do you want to go in front?
Be my guest.
Gives him a nod, and he starts making his way up.
I thought it was a title that you took. Shield Bearer? It's really your last name. You really living up to the momentum there.
What can I say? Dwarves aren't necessarily completely original with family names, but it is my name and the name of my forefathers.
At least you're honest. Hard to come by, especially for an undead.
He kind of furrows his brow. What are you talking about?
You're dead. It's like you've not come to terms with it.
Immortality doesn't always necessarily mean forever.
I understand that. But forever is what occurs when you have no natural predators. You and I are cut from the same cloth. Do you get that feeling? Does it, and it kind of leans in as you're slowly hucking up the shield to go up the steps. You ever get that feeling like we're brothers? You and I. We got some things in common. We both care for the same dipshit. We have feelings, we're invested in places. We both died once and came back.
You sound like those horoscopes from...
What happened?
...the paper in town. Am I supposed to just agree with you?
Kind of leans over and he tings your shield. You hear this bang. Yep. Thought I recognized the color of that metal. Cut from the same cloth. Yeah. We're not so different.
Looks back at him. It's told about yours too.
Well, secret's out. Better not tell anyone. If they think that Ulhime Shieldbearer is in cahoots with once general of a demon army, who knows what sort of rumors will start flying around then.
They might think I have potential for something.
Yeah, I think you just might still. So by the way, how are you going to get my son back? Let's talk about that for a minute. You reach the precipice of the landing, the height of the temple.
Is the soul cage still there?
It is not.
Seeing that, he kind of, not even kind of, he fucking just hits his shield into the floor, and makes the same kind of bladed indent. He just goes, "Damn it!"
He goes, whoa, easy. That's rare. Arguably, some of the rarest piece of equipment in the world. You realize only 2 of those exist.
Kind of looks back at him and he rolls his eyes and he hucks up the shield again and he starts walking over to his stuff, just kind of claiming the stuff that was lost on his person. He's not going to don the armor, obviously, because it's not going to make sense to fucking get fully dressed up and
sure.
Yeah. But he bags it up, gets the rest of his stuff. He's going to leave the shield though, the metal shield that he had. And he looks to Nab. Well, you know more about the arcane than I do.
You're right.
Where should we begin then? If you're saying that this spell that's on Jakob is a lot stronger than any magic that I can possess, then I need an item or some sort of catalyst to supersede it to bring him back.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Or, and I've had a few days to think about this. I know someone who could help.
But
he doesn't work with me anymore.
And who would that be?
A guy. He's a guy. Real stand-up fellow. He's honorable and all that sort. I could tell you how to get him here. And he'll be here in a flash. Not that he hasn't done work here before in the past.
Who is it?
Phil?
For all intents and purposes, just call him Phil.
And what does he do?
Phil makes sure that there's honor in agreements. And I know that you won't be so dumb as to get caught up in an agreement with a demon. Especially without covering your tracks. So, I was hoping that you might eventually return. I was starting to believe, though, that you might actually be dead. Turns out, it was a good gamble. And I didn't just stew in this musty husk. It does quite suit me, though. So what do you say?
A green one.
You act like I have some other choice, other options, which I could probably take chances on, but I'm more concerned about my friends at this point.
The longer we wait, the less likely it is that they'll return. The souls are only here for so long. Especially if they've not been here that long at all. Hell, Rahk might have moved on already. You know, the big, husky-looking one.
He's resilient.
I'm sure. But he's still a new face in town. And trust me, I've seen them all. So what do you say? You want to give this a call? Because I can make it happen. I can give you everything that you need to call Phil.
Very well. But if I'm working with him, then there will have to be an agreement between us.
The agreement is going to be between us. He's going to facilitate, so as to make sure that you don't feel as if you are getting bent over a barrel. I've had a long time to think about how to word things.
Very well. Call him.
The eyes flash red, and a single burnt slip of paper, just like this wisp, almost as if it's being carried on a wind, burns and sort of like chars up in your hand. And it, as you catch it and burn it down, it shows this rune on the palm of your glove. Channel a little bit of divinity into that. He'll be here in a flash.
He begins to clench the gauntlet and then tries to summon from. He just empowers the rune to see what happens.
You do. You pour a little bit of your holy divinity into it, which takes nothing at all. It's something that you've done regularly. It's one of the most basic steps of being a cleric or even a magic user, period, is just writing magic. But this is written in a tongue that you are not super familiar with, unless, of course, you can speak Infernal.
I could with tongues.
You might be able to with tongues, but you would also have to have access to read magic, because it is a magic rune. It's not just a word, it's...
I have access to read magic.
Do you use both?
I will use both.
Okay. As you cast both, it basically tells you a full name. And as you know, in the world of magic, names are incredibly potent and important. You see the name Twist and Turn and Infernal in your hand. And it says Mephistopheles. But as you channel this divinity into it, this radiant light whips back down and starts to pulsate red. You feel your fingers eke out. And then a figure appears before you with like this whip of wind, this whoosh. And there's a guy that's writing on a ledger. Yeah, I think that'll do, actually. Oh, fuck. He turns to you. Starts rolling up his scroll, and he tucks it into a pouch. A satchel, a side bag. Do I know you? Do I know you from anywhere?
Ulhime doesn't say anything. He just points over to Nab.
He turns, and when his eyes fall over Nab the Tauren, it's almost as if he's seeing through this husk, this image that he's taken on of Mal Skellering. And you see this cinder char up over this figure named Phil that whips up over him, and the image fades. No longer does he look like this very average-looking white guy. Brown hair, brown eyes, white skin. Muddied up a little bit. He turns, and his body is a bit more decorated to be like a devil. A scroll devil. The horns that whip up over his head seem to be bound in tightly wrought skin, and they pour down his body. The horns that seem to that come out of his shoulders seemingly have scrolls as well that also taper downward. His bag is no longer leather bound. It appears as if it's made of what looks to be human skin. Is that an elven ear? Perhaps that's a half-orc eyelid? You're not sure. But it's made of many different things. And when he sees Nab the Tauren, you actually get the...
Oh, fuck. Listen, I said I was never going to work with you again.
Nab the Tauren points to you.
So why is... Who are you and why are you working with him?
To help some friends in need. But I was told you would be the one to mediate this contract or agreement that we would be talking about to discuss.
He turns, looking to Nab the Tauren.
Really? You need me to facilitate? But you can't play nice?
Listen, I told him that we've got a history. And I wanted him to feel as if he wasn't going to be cheated.
Yeah, well, that's gonna happen. You realize that's gonna happen, right?
Peering back at you.
Because it's gonna happen.
I was already expecting that I wouldn't be getting a fair trade. But
Well, good. Glad that we've come across that. Sure. Perfect. Well, let me go about this the right and proper way.
is there chairs or something we sit on? I feel like standing here just discussing this feels unusual.
He seems to take his hands up over his neck, and he rubs like he's got a neck pain. And when he does, you see the claws drag across the neck, and it gets a little blood up around his darkened black nails. And when he claps, it seems to fall downward. And it illuminates this podium that seems to manifest out of the scorched blood. It's a podium that is angled just perfectly enough to suit a pen, which is quilled at the top, an empty vial. And he turns it. It rotates on axis.
Hopefully you have expressed fine penmanship. I can do this myself, but I want to make sure that you don't feel as if you're being taken advantage of. You understand? Formalities.
Sure, why not?
He looks over to Nathatorin.
Acts like it's his first time working with the devil.
Nab just kind of shrugs.
I won't lie, this actually seems a lot easier to deal with than road bandits, so
Well,
step forward.
He kind of smirks for a moment.
you don't know, do you? No, she didn't tell you. Yeah, that dumb look right there shows me that she didn't tell you.
What?
That lady that have been summoned here before. I can't remember her name. Hold on.
And he begins rifling through a series of his scrolls. And he's
Thelsa?
like, thimble thumps of love.
Thelsa, yes. That's it, yeah. Yes. She's got a reputation, you know. She's, real nasty. You know what they call her where I'm from, right?
No, this is the first time we've met, so...
They call her Mom. You know what they call her Mom? It's an anagram. Whatever the word is. Milligram? Pentagram? It
Acronym?
means that one. That's it. Yeah. Mistress of Malice.
So
Just
you're
malice
the-
for short.
You're the one who gave her the augmentation, then.
Well, I only offered her what she wished for. She wished for strength. She said she wanted to find some big bad asshole up here. I just didn't know that you were talking about this asshole.
Now the Torrent says, I'm offended. I'm right here.
And you should probably know exactly how I feel about you.
I gathered. Can we get this over with, please?
Right, well, I'm not going to spill the beans too much, but let's just say that our last party didn't do so well either. She may or may not have killed all of them herself.
We don't talk about that.
I do. And the only reason I'm telling you right now is because I no longer have anything to gain from her. She did this really unfortunate thing. She called me in front of a dragon that happens to know my name, one that I've dealt with in the past, and well, I'm a little salty about it. Ripped me right out of my house. Can you imagine how I feel about that?
I feel for you. I really do.
Yeah, thank you. All work and no play. It's hard sometimes. So, what are you going to be doing for him, and what is he going to be doing for you?
Now the Torrent says, I propose that I offer him a wish.
Fancy. Fancy. A wish. I like where this is going. Why? And for what purpose?
He looks to you.
Kid, you know this is high-level magic, right? Like, this is This is the juju you don't really want to dick around with, so you sure? You know who he is, right?
Yes, I'm aware of who he is, and I'm starting to get a feeling I already know who you are, too.
Whoa. Listen, just because I have horns and I have blood red skin and where I walk leaves ash doesn't mean that I don't have feelings. Don't be rude. Because I could just leave.
I can call you back, too.
No, it was you? How the fuck did you find out my name?
Points at Nab again.
I swear to...
His eyes just glisten over this red, and you see one of the scrolls seem to burn up, and he seems to like catch it as it's starting to burn up, and he's like... He's patting out the flame over the top of it.
You know, for demons to keep their name hidden, a lot of people seem to know you already.
I've been around a long time, kid. There's some things that you just sort of pick up. But usually I put it in my claws that people don't share my name. Unfortunately, Nat the Torn was one of them tricky bastards that seemed to just pull the wool over my eyes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Needless to say, he's the reason that I have a claws.
Very well. So, you said you're offering a wish.
I propose a wish. I think that this could be beneficial for the both of us. I don't get many of these. I've had to use them fairly selectively.
Ulhime kind of like sits back and he kind of takes a knee. In exchange for what, Nab?
Well, you want your friends back. I'd like my son back. But I'll figure out another way to dredge his sorry soul back from the dead. That being said, I offer a trade. I want something you have, and you've got something I want. Vice versa. I have something you need.
True, but at the same time, I'm not going to jeopardize certain things so you can get ahead, regardless if it brings Jacob and my friends back or not.
What is there to jeopardize? We're here to state the terms, and he's going to make sure that it's all fair and square, right?
Yes, unfortunately, that's correct.
Then state your terms then clearly and speak plainly.
I want two things, and you can, with the aid of my wish. Bear in mind one that I can only selectively use on the rotation of our fullest of moons. You can claim back 3 of your friends, and it's going to cost me far more than I care to spend at the moment. Yeah, I know I'm old, but I'm frivolous with my funds, what can I say? In return, I want a favor, and I want your arm.
He looks at the skeletal arm, I'm assuming this one from Occipitus.
Bingo. I want that one. Because it's not yours. And it sure as hell ain't mine. But I can think of better things to do with it.
What's the arm to you then?
As much as it is to you, it's an arm. I've got 4 of them.
But even I know this one holds a special power to it.
Yeah, it's special. It's special
Well,
in the
where
right
are the
hands. You see, it looks as if Phil is sort of leaning over the podium at this point.
Never thought I'd see the day. You got your work cut out for you. This kid's dangerous, isn't he, Nat the Doran?
Yeah. Yeah, he can be.
So, this arm has caused me some trouble.
I can
I won't
imagine.
lie about that. But should you want the powers of Occipitus back in its entirety, then you will separate the Cathedral of Feathers and all the celestial power in Occipitus back to Helm's domain. If you want Occipitus, you can have it, but you're not keeping anything else.
I never said I wanted Occipitus. And I never gave a damn about the Cathedral of Feathers. It's never really mattered to me at all.
You're in control of it, though.
Okay. But I'm not doing anything with it.
You don't have to.
So you want me to reverse the irreversible and give you 3 lives back. And all I get is a dead man's arm and a favor. You're really playing up your hand here.
Even with your wordplay, I know this arm is more than what it seems to be.
Sure, the arm is worth more. Like I said, in the right hands. And I don't even know if I'm the right hands. Let's just say I'm trying to curry favor. Oh, come on. You've gone without arms before. Hell, half of your party has gone without things, right? Jakob had 2
True.
different legs. And that was my doing, of course, that put them back. Not a word of thanks, though. Ungrateful little shit.
Give him the wrong one.
I gave him 2 left feet? Oh, are you suggesting that I gave him the wrong one because he's changed? Because that was inevitable. You know, that's the curse of the tiefling, right? The tiefling, a demon-blooded. In this case, sometimes it's curse, sometimes it's direct, you know. In my free time, when I'm not savaging worlds and ruining people's lives, I did happen to have an interesting relationship. And as you could probably have guessed, I did also have sex. And
Noted.
a child came to be. But the curse of the tiefling is that if he falls too far into the lineage of his parental, especially in this case if it's direct blood, he adapts his true visage. It's no longer a mask. He may still be tiefling. He may never grow up to be quite what I want him to be. But he takes on the true features. It comes with perks, I gotta be honest. His hands can shear right through metal now. Surprised he hasn't tried using it yet.
Takes time for Jakob to get things right, but he's capable. But we're also getting off topic. But before we get into this deal, are you aware of how I came about this?
I understand. I know exactly how you came across it. I just didn't think anyone was that stupid. You
I need the
plunged your
power.
arm into abyssal plasmid in the one location where there was a trove of history that was supposed to have been forgotten. You're either insanely lucky or you have some sort of odd treasure seeker sense. I don't know what it is, and I'm sure I'll never find out, not that it truly matters, because by the end of this, that arm will be mine. You'll get what you want, and I'll get what I want. Word for word. I want to totally claim the arm that is on your body, not the one that is possessed by the disgusting angelic favor, but the one that is twisting and maggot draping. Additionally, I want a favor that you cannot say no to.
What's the favor?
That's for me to decide. But that's as cut and dry as it is. Just note that the moment that you fulfill the favor, and I will say favor, so you know, this will be null and void. It will be over with. And Phil here can happily rest.
me giving you the arm isn't so much the problem, but I also have ambitions that I need to fulfill.
Oh,
So,
shit, kid. I've got to
if
wake
you
up
want-
tomorrow myself. I have things
if
that
you
I need
want
to
the
do as well.
arm, if this is something you truly want, I'm willing to give it to you. But then you will have to give up the smoking eye.
Okay.
That includes the control of Occipitus and the realm itself.
Okay. It's not worth anything to me anyway.
He looks over to Mephistopheles. Knowing that there's a trial that has to be done, can this be superseded by your contract?
He just sort of looks around for a moment.
I don't know about any trial. Honestly, I don't really care. Is there a trial that I'm not aware of?
Now the Torrent says, to claim the smoking eye. Yes. There is a trial that one must go through. In order to claim the smoking eye, originally you had to run the trial. And no one had succeeded in thousands of years.
Cool story. So, are we happy now? Or is this fine?
Can it be done, is what I want to know.
Well, what does that mean, be done?
Can this exchange happen?
Of course it can.
Just handing over the necklace wouldn't be enough. I actually want to know that I would have control.
There's a necklace now, too? Listen, you gotta really define these terms. Alright? This is how I work. If you want this in blood, if you want to make sure that he's not going to bend this and twist this in any way, you've got to define this. That's the only piece of advice that I can offer you. Define it to the letter.
Just to be sure, just out of game. What was the layer of hell? It was like the 967th layer?
It was like the 507th layer of the abyss.
Okay. So he looks to him. He looks over to Nab. Then I'll state it as plain and simple as I can. I want full control of the 507th layer of the abyss and all within.
Now the Torrent just does this.
Is it something you can offer with the smoking eye? That's the question I want to know. If not, then this deal doesn't happen.
What exactly do you want me to do with the smoking eye?
Relinquish it. I take the eye, you can take the plasma and do whatever you want with it if you need the rest of it, which I'm assuming you do. This is only a part of what I pulled from it.
So you want total control over Occipitus. You want the smoking eye. And he kind of hoists up a choker very tight around this character's neck. And that's it? You want your friends back too, I'm guessing. Did you forget about that?
No, but as I said, there are other things that I do have planned.
He kind of gets the smirk on his face. And he glances over to Mephistopheles.
You sure there's some angel blood in that arm of yours there, kid? Maybe you and Thelsa are a lot closer than you think. So, You want the necklace thing. You want total control of Occipitus. And how many people do you want back?
Three.
I need you to pen their names. Can you bleed?
He kind of looks at his hands and kind of goes, nope.
Well, then we can't do a contract. No blood, no contract. Unless you got something else.
Nab says, I do. There is something else.
Time for one of his Pokemon.
He's not going to like it, but we don't bleed the same way. We bleed differently. You know that demon fire is amidst the hottest fire in all of the plains, right? That's even hotter than... What's his name? That big fire jerk that came here the other day.
The Primal Flame.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. He called him Tinderbox. Yeah, we'll call him Tinderbox. Yeah, burns even hotter than Tinderbox. It's
I've
capable.
read the stories.
It's capable of melting anything. And you know what's permanent? He looks to Meth. You better bring out some heavy-duty scroll work. Something that you can write metal in. With a confused look.
Excuse me?
Break out a tablet. This one's going to be a little different. One for the ages.
I don't even know what that means. But fine.
And he waves his hand over the scroll, and before you is this stone scripture. It's a tablet. Literally talking like of the tablets, you know what I mean? And it's already been pre-chiseled. It's in all these like various rows.
Look, this works in a particular way. We've only had to do this twice. You'll make the third. I don't know why, but you don't bleed, and we gotta make this contract happen. So he's gonna melt something down, at least enough, so that you can pen their names. Man, it's written in stone. So what do you got? What am I melting? You got a necklace or something? You got some armor?
He actually has something better. A shield. Won't need much. It's gonna hurt, though.
A shield? Why the fuck is the shield gonna hurt him?
Reasons. It doesn't really matter to you.
Whatever. Just make it snappy. I got things to do. Seriously, I'm missing like pineapple torture right now. Come on.
Are you ready?
He looks over to Nab one more time. As I said, I won't sign this until you can guarantee.
Yes, I know
Terms are
that you
best.
have the smoking eye, and that you have your friends, and that you have total control. Just know that I'm gonna be gone for a few days.
A few days is all I need.
Yeah, I figured. I'm gonna have my hands busy, all four of them.
Very well.
Let's get a piece of that shield. Pick your poison. You want a corner? How about that fancy blade on the end? I don't need a lot.
You see Ulhime essentially like carve out like essentially what would look like tears onto the shield, and uses that as the metal to.
Sure. Okay, you give him teardrops. He's got prison tats now. Perfect. He takes the 2 teardrops worth of this soul ore, and as he's holding it in his hand, with the other hand, he pulls up over his lips and shreds the head downward, de-sleeving into the top half of Nephthatorin. This significantly larger sized demon with 4 arms, twisted horns, and a jackal head. He tosses them into one of the hands, and he begins to breathe down upon it. You see smoke start to rise and billow from his face before inevitably it begins to twist into almost like an alloy in his hands, this liquid. Come on. Pen them now.
He signs.
You draw from a quill, and it seems to not immediately incinerate, but it takes to this allure and you begin signing onto the stone, and it fills in perfectly so. Pre-chiseled or not, the way that it takes to the metal is... It's like it was predetermined. And as he finishes, you get the last bit of dab in there, and you sign, and then Navatoran flinches one of his scissor fingers down onto his own skin, grabs the same quill, dabs it internally, and starts to sign this here.
As he's signing, he kind of looks to Nab and says something outside of the contract. If you're really concerned about doing what's best for your son outside of the guise of everything, there's something I might need your help with.
Well, this should be rich. Let's finish this first.
Very well.
Well, it's a beautiful thing. Perfect. Wonderful. We're in total matrimony now. Wonderful. Excellent. Great. So everyone's happy. Everyone has agreed upon this, yes? These are terms worth facilitating. All right. By the powers vested in me and in all the layers of hell, you're now bound in blood.
And as he blinks, he disappears. Navatoran draws from his side satchel this bag that contains raw diamonds. Very, very large raw diamonds. And he snaps the choker off of his neck, whips it over to you. Occipitus is yours. The necklace is yours too. Now this ain't gonna take very long. And afterwards, I'm gonna have to go pretty quickly. I have a lot of work ahead of me. You know, doing things. So what is it you needed exactly?
When I'm done helping this city, because even now I'm not sure if your intentions lie within it, you can do some research and see if there's a way to transfer one's immortality to another creature.
Why would you need to do that?
It's my business. It's something I'm curious about.
Yeah, I've heard of ways of doing it, though nobody's done it. You'd be the first. Nobody wants to give up. They're free roam. They're total control over oneself. Why would you? Hell, even I, who am totally bored with the world, I'm not going to give up my immortality. For reasons, of course.
Everyone has their own.
Listen,
I might be the first fool.
I'm not going to help you with that. You can figure it out. As far as I'll go, as I'll tell you is that it does exist.
That's all I need to know then. Does that demon have anything on you then?
He's just got to make sure that I do exactly as I'm told. And in this case, as per the agreement. As far as things on me, well, I'm sure he does. But I have quite a bit more on him. Quite a bit more. So you don't play well and rise the ranks if you don't know enough about everyone. Knowing's half the battle, after all.
If there's a way to circumvent him, there's an item that I have that I can't use personally, given my moral standing. But if you can use it to capture him,
I'm listening.
it'll be of some help.
Capturing whom exactly?
The one that we just worked with, the contract holder.
Why would I want to capture him? You are bound to this as well.
I'm sure you have questions that need to be answered too, don't you?
No. No, I always answer my own questions, even if it's incorrect. I lie to myself daily. It's the only way that I can see through this. Because simply just believing that everything is as is isn't enjoyable. Sometimes you have to write your own book. And in this case, I'm writing history. You'll be a part of it. So will Jakob. So will Jakob. No, if you don't mind. Snaps. He's back down there. You peer over the balcony. And he seems to be focusing upon something. The red is back in his eyes. It is illuminating a very small portion of the floor. You begin to descend?
Yes.
Okay. As you descend, you find that you are late to the party. By the time you arrive, the dregs of stone begin to crack and fall away. You didn't capture the details of this, but you believe what he says is true. And you know as much. You know just as much that Mephistopheles is bound to keep him. When you finally run down to this point, and these bits of stone are coming off, Thelsa is still shaking with her hand up over her eyes. Rahk is probably in the midst of either picking himself up or just landing. And Jakob stands in full appearance, with vitriol and hatred seething over his face. There might also be a tinge of fear. He's clutching on to the staff that's covered in similar infernal writing. It was not written in infernal previously. He's heaving, just... And now the Tauren, as Malskellering begins to step away. The three of
Does
you...
my arm start changing back?
No, your arm is gone. The moment that you bound the contract, your arm was gone. You don't know how he's got it, but he's got it. You're plenty strong though. It's not like you can't hoist your body down.
Okay, I thought it was because
No, it's just flat. Just completely flat. The thing is, you didn't even notice it. That's more of an emphasis on the fact that you're undead. You don't feel pain unless, again, something is directly against the fiber of your being. And in this case, one of your most painful experiences have come from the use of this arm. And every time you heal, especially yourself, you feel pain from this arm. So it's a blessing and a curse. Who knows what he's going to do with it? However, the three of them are shaking, breathing, exuding very different feelings as Malskellering begins to exit the building. Jakob, Rahk, Thelsa. Ulhime is standing before you. He's missing an arm. Cort is not here. Blood is scattered across the floor. It's everywhere, but it has since dried.
I'm gonna look over my body for a second to just kind of take in what's happened.
Easy. You guys have been through a lot. It's good to have you back.
Now, just so I'm on the same page here, Jakob fully has seen Nav the Tauren or Mal. He saw that he was there, that he was walking away.
You probably saw the silhouette of Mal. You likely recognize the figure to a degree, but the moment that you can even, like, let go of that bizarre feeling that you had, Ulhime is, like, right before you. He's right there.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out if he would be, like, out of sorts because of the time that he's been in stone, or if it's kind of like, you know, time just picks back up.
You're definitely disoriented. There has been some bizarre time dilation. It doesn't explain all the dried blood. It also doesn't explain why your body is so tense. You feel... It's like a state of rigor, right? Like rigor mortis. Your body is very, very tense, and it feels like stone. You need rest. You need food. You need water.
Come on, push the button.
Yeah. Leaning on the shaft of the scythe that's embedded into the stone beneath his feet, Jakob is going to take a moment, trying to, you know, have that woozy sway. What happened?
Well, all of you defeated the Wraith, but at the same time, all of you died.
Where's the boy?
Jenya's. He's recovering. Ulhime looks over to Jakob. Your father saved you, though. And he kind of hucks his arm at a price, though.
My
So-
father.
So you helped us back then.
I didn't really do anything. I had to make a deal for your lives, and that was simply it.
A deal.
Yes, you've worked with this individual before.
Yeah, I'll be seeing him again very soon.
He's told me some things that I think we need to talk about when we get a chance.
You know, honestly, we don't really need to talk about it, but I appreciate you lending a hand.
No,
Yeah,
we
Jacob
really
is-
do.
No, Jacob's just kind of like side eye Thelsa's way and just, you know, tuck his chin and, you know, not comment.
He gives he goes over to Rahk, and he helps him up, since I'm assuming his like last stance was like a forward like lean. I'm not sure if he's trying to pick himself up, but he would help him up, and once he does that, he would help Jakob get the scythe out of the ground.
Okay. It's wedged in there pretty intensely. This has happened once before. You recall seeing this from Cort.
Yeah, I would still help him try to pull it out.
You got it.
And then same thing with Thelsa. Once I help him wedge the weapon out, I would go up to her and try to help her up.
And using the staff of the scythe as a support, Jacob's going to look over. What deal did you make?
Well, to bring back all of you, he wanted the arm and a favor from me at any point, which I'm assuming is going to be quite a bit. The trade wasn't even. That I'm already aware of, but your lives mean more to me right now than what we might have to deal with in the long run.
Speaking of which, it's actually someone that says that in the game. A figure walks forward, very nondescript, brown
Fucking
hair.
fables.
Nope, brown hair, brown eyes, carrying a side bag, a scroll hanging out of it. Didn't I just see you? Did you forget already? Oh, Christ.
Bill.
Yes.
Waves the hand back. And
What
as
did you
he,
need?
Nothing from you, I believe. And I'm going
That's
to take
fine.
a few steps towards Phil.
Well, now that he's gone, the reason that I was okay with finalizing that, was because that I needed her alive. You see, she had made a second deal with me.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Thank you so much, Hound, for the bits. I appreciate that, my guy. Very kind of you. Loads of bits. 11,500 bits. What a god. What a monster.
And
So-
what deal was that?
Well, I mean, that's her business. No, she's gonna change a little bit real soon, right?
Yep. Getting rid of my ties to the Demon Scar.
You're you said a scroll. Well, Nab the Torrent said you were a scroll demon.
Yeah.
Contract devil, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the proper terminology. I appreciate that.
Devil just sounds so much more enticing.
Right. Call me a demon. Ugh. That's petty. Just petty.
I understand that since you deal with literature, before you commence your deal with her, if you could help me with something. Not necessarily a contract, it's something I'm curious about.
I mean,
Something that I'm not sure if you might have seen or not.
maybe, but I don't know. Everything. Listen, kid, I'm written in a way that basically says that I have to make a deal happen. Anytime I trade information, I've got to get information. Unless
don't really
someone
tell me.
here has something that I don't know.
Ulhime
Anything juicy?
will take the backpack off of his back, and he pulls out the book of a single question, and he holds it up to him. Would you be able to read this?
What is it again?
The book of a single question from Occipitus?
You know, I could read it. But that would make me stupid.
I need to find a way to decipher the information in this book.
That's fair. I probably could, but I know how the book works because I was the one that helped make it.
Then who was the other?
The person who died making it.
It was a celestial, wasn't it?
Yeah, good guess. What gave that away?
The first person to help me decipher the question was a celestial.
Yeah, I don't... Just because I'm a contract devil doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a bad guy. People are bad. It's my job to make sure that everyone does as they agree to do.
Truth be told, if anything, he's probably the most trustworthy neutral party you've ever come across.
Bingo. That's me, Captain Trustworthy.
Well, before I take up any more of your time, I just need to know if there is no one that can decipher this book without dying, correct?
That's correct.
He kind of just hands the book off to him then.
Well, what am I going to do with this?
I don't want to hold on to it knowing the power that it has. It belongs in the abyss, so...
That's fair. It'll look good on my mantle. I was wondering if I'd ever get it back. Neither here nor there. So,
He hands it off to him.
about that demon power you got there, I'll take that now.
Do we need to be in front of each other or something, or can you just suck it right out of me right now?
Now I just need you to bleed a little bit.
That's reassuring.
Just a small pinprick. I'm sure you've had way bigger.
I'm just gonna hold up my hand that has the finger that might still be bleeding.
Ulhime would look at Thelsa. Is this a good thing that's happening then?
It's beneficial for me.
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off her. We'll just say that. By the by, Thelsa, once this is done, I don't think we need to be doing much more work together. You gotta understand. I was was in the middle of something important when you had a dragon pull me through the other side. I don't like that. Really
I know.
sort of taints how I feel about things.
I would much prefer just have called you and waited for you to be available, but
Well, you could have just called.
I don't know how you work.
You just don't have rituals up here. You can't chant a name on the wind or something. Like, I listen.
Wait, you knew she was a dragon?
Yeah, I've done work with her in the past.
Was it not clear?
Not
to you?
you. Thelsa.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen her in her dragon form. She hoards gold.
Yeah, that's a dead giveaway.
How am I the last one to know this?
Because
You went
you're
to visit her first. How are you the last one to know that?
Well, it's not necessarily like she turned around and told me. I didn't find out until she bitch slapped me. Bitch slap. Oh.
Look, I'm gonna. He goes over to Rahk and kind of like helps him up. Kind of puts his like arm over his shoulder. I'm gonna help him. You are very disconnected with information. I'll help you in a little bit. Thanks for moderating for me.
Yeah, I guess.
I would say it's a pleasure, but it really wasn't. So I guess until next time, which I hope not.
Hey, before you go, there's a little bit of bluster back there. I don't really care what you're gonna do with Occipitus, but I'm curious. Now that you're the leader of it and all, how you gonna rule that?
I'm gonna convert all of its energy over into celestial energy and rip essentially that domain out.
Bold.
That sounds violent.
This man's got big balls. You know, Celestia sort of has a way of doing things its own way. I can't speak to it, but have you ever thought that maybe the angels didn't want that anymore anyway? Because if they really wanted it, they could have just came and got it.
True, but
I mean, you think hell is the only place with layers? You should see heaven. And they're not all sweet people up there, I promise. I get called up there regularly.
I agree, but I've already picked up on that. None of the stories referred to them as angels, but as soldiers. And last time I checked, most soldiers weren't too keen on singing the praises of others.
You're not wrong.
That's something I've come to accept.
Not all that glitters is gold, Ulhime.
Your
So,
words.
you can go back to living or whatever the shit you do. I want the demon in you.
better take me out to dinner first.
He grabs your hand.
I don't think so.
I tried. Well, at least you can make me a promise that once I eventually just cross over to yours, that you take me with you on some of your expeditions.
Yeah. Well, oh, look at the time.
And he just starts pulling this darkened blood from your arm. It's like spider web is stuck to his fingertips as he starts pulling it away. And you see this twisted bit of image and memory of the being that was harnessed inside of your body. And he takes it. It's removed from you.
Ike's gone too. As you could imagine, he did some tricky nonsense. But special place in hell for that one, I promise.
Give him my regards for me.
I don't give a shit.
And he just
Yeah, I
walks
know.
off.
I just wanted to say, we just witnessed Thelsa being broken up with by a bargain demon, and he just took his stuff back.
Nah, he's still got my soul. It's just he's got to go deliver that.
He
to
got his
someone.
stuff back from the apartment, but you still have some of your stuff at his apartment, and you just can't go back and get it now.
I don't want it. It's fine.
I'm just really hoping that demon lieutenant isn't coming back. 'Cause
He's not.
I think
No,
he
that
might hold a
spirit.
grudge.
That spirit is going to somebody. That was the other part of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to go talk with her, and I'm assuming he's not too excited
Yeah, you're talking about the second in command. Only second in command to Naphtatorin. So when Naphtatorin was gone, he was like, fuck yeah, promotion. And then Thelsa was like, hey, Meth, you can have my soul and all of its reputation as well. Because, like, literally, they were like, yeah, your mom, like, you're kind of a pseudo celebrity, right? You're a really terrible person, and that's cool. That's super cool. Like, can I claim your? Oh, sure, fuck that guy. I'll take his soul for your. That's great trade. So that worked out, but it was twofold. The reason that he did this job for Naphtatorin and for you is because he needed to make sure that he could finish the deal with her. Otherwise, he could have just left. You could call him all day long, but he doesn't have to do it if he doesn't want to. He does still reap a profit, but you'll never know exactly what that profit is. Though for now, we're going to call the session here. With mostly everyone alive, except for Cort.
Yay. Not yay that Cort's not alive, but...
Just kick the plug. I'll make a new character. We got this.
Yay! Thelsa's just gonna go and walk away from the group and go take a nap. She's just had
Keep
enough.
your eyes on him.
The rest
And
of them today.
Has a thing to kill people who are.
It's been a stressful week for all of us, I think.
You aren't wrong.
I also don't know how the rest of the party is going to react to Phil just saying "your mom," and then only Xander's character knows what that means. The rest of them,
that's why when you're like, oh, we don't have to talk about, like, no, we're gonna.
We don't have to talk about it. I'm going to bed.
Honey, not right now. I've got a headache.
We don't.
I will grab you by your
I like
throat
your
with one
consideration.
hand and drag you outside and just sit you on a crate and you're like, you're gonna talk.
We'll talk about it later.
I'm gonna shove my hand up your ass and make you like talk like a puppet if I have to. Like,
I will cast deep slumber on myself.
On herself, so she doesn't feel it.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, before it goes in. Poof.
Oh my god.
Perfect. All right, guys. Like I said, we're gonna be calling the session here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Y'all are great. I appreciate you. If you have not hit the follow button yet, feel free to hit the follow button. If you guys want to make an impact in future games, remember that you can gift sub. 5 gift subs will automatically give all the players a luck reroll. If you want to additionally have other impact, you guys can simultaneously support on Patreon. Patreon is a great way to keep the stream alive, keep the dream alive. Plus, you get unique rewards that you can use here. And I'll tell you how in the future. Plus, the rep system is going to be getting a slight rework very, very soon in the future. Run those socials there. Perfect. Check out the Discord. It's absolutely free. Anybody can join. We usually do lots of late night gaming. Lots of good stuff like that. Additionally, there's the Facebook. If that's still your bag, it's not for everyone. It tends to be for old people and families. And that's generally who hangs out there. Gets memes all day on the reg. The Twitter, where you can catch mostly my talking about when games go live. Various retweets, some health stuff that I'm handling, and me dealing with various social nonsense. Instagram is following my weight loss journey. I'm 170 pounds down, which is sort of dope. The YouTube catches all these in backlog. You can watch from episode 85 going forward, so we're quickly closing in on 100 episodes recorded and backlogged here. Additionally, again, the Patreon. You can support at as low as $5 a month, and you get lots of awesome rewards. You can catch the patron streams that are inside of the Discord that are locked specifically to patrons. They're just additional casts that I do. Secondly, you can catch the once a month movie night, which is this weekend. This weekend we'll be watching Life with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds, and we will be watching Event Horizon. So that should be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a little bit of a mind fuck for basically everyone on board. And what else is there? I think that's about it. As far as like the shill goes, you got it all. Big thanks to Houndmaster for 11,500 bits. What a god. We got loads of resubs. Hail Christopher, Swirly Thetis, Bunny gift sub 5 to Bung Monkey, Bacon and Bandits, Bunny Fufu. Gave to Raksha Lost, Lorloke, and King Suge. And just before stream, before the game, we had Fish Food gifting to Overgoddess Washu, Shinphil, Audi, the Revel Dab, and Erupt TG. Yeah. So make sure you do all those things, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you tomorrow as we finish up Doom and dive back into Subnautica. Have a good one. Peace. We're out of here.